What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the neighborhood. And I'm here with Mr. Edward Greenberg, who is the owner of Collector's Paradise. How's it going, my friend? How are you today?
How you doing, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm doing really well. I just really wanted to do this because anybody that knows me knows I love comics. I'm repping my Justice League shirt on today. And I know that you're a comic book owner. You actually you own a comic book store in North Hollywood that I go to, which is Collector's Paradise.
Of
And
course.
with everything that's going on with the quarantine right now, I thought it would be cool to see like what's happening with the comic book industry right now, what's going on with your store, and how you're handling it.
Well, we have three stores, so we had to shut down two of them for now.
Okay.
The Pasadena one and the North Hollywood one are both closed right now because I can't have people working in all three locations because we're not supposed to be open.
Right.
So as far as we are still kind of open. We're open 3 days a week from 11 to 4 on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And it's just me and my partner, Nick. And we're basically doing mail order. People call in or email us, and we're selling them product. We're doing like full tours of the store, personal shopping. You can call in and say, hey, I'm interested in this kind of stuff or I like this kind of stuff. And we'll start recommending books to you. That's always been our strength, knowledge of product and selection. So we have three stores inventory, and we have access to that inventory at any time because we can go to the stores and pick up books we don't have. And so we're shipping about 20, 30 packages a day minimum. So it's a lot of mail order. Plus, we made an agreement with a pizza place next door to us. So that we can bring books to them and people can come there, grab a pizza and pick it up and get a discount on their pizza. So it kind of works out for everybody. And it helps the pizza place because obviously they're struggling too. And they're our great friends. We're the only two people who've been at that plaza for like 25 plus years. And so if I can help them and give my customers the ability to pick up books without breaking the law, it's great.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's awesome that you're operating like that, and it comforts me because obviously I love comic books and I love going into your store. So to know and hear from you directly that that's what's being implemented to make sure things are still back to normal once things pass through. It's very relieving.
We have a date now.
Yeah, you have
we have a date. We have a date, May 20th.
Okay, so that's
May 20th. Comic books resume. Yes.
Okay, so May 20th. That's when you guys plan to open back up again.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to open back up because that's not up to us. It's up to the state of California and LA County. But that's the first week that we're going to be receiving new product again, new comics.
Okay, I got it. Okay,
so we'll be able to.
Like
yeah, we'll be able to do. Hopefully by that time we'll be able to do curbside pickup. If county decides to open up a little bit. If not, we'll continue to do the way we're doing right now. We'll do mail order. I mean, we're uniquely equipped. We've been doing mail order for years. We've been on eBay and Amazon and our own online store for 15, 20 years. So we haven't skipped a bit. We're just doing more packaging than before. I just bought a bunch of supplies, bought a bunch of boxes and bubble wrap, and we're sending out a bunch of packages. So we're unlike some of the other stores who just closed down and kind of said, we'll wait this thing out. We are actually continuing to the business because I have between the three stores, we have 10 or 11 employees, and I worry about them, like I'll be okay. I have other things, I have other things where I made a little bit of a nest egg that I can spend that nest egg right now and not make money. But the employees kind of live day to day. They're mostly young kids, working at the shop, and that's very important to me. So we've been able to pay everybody at least something every payroll. It's not their full paycheck, but if they get 15 hours of payroll or 20 hours of payroll, whether they're working or not, that's very important to me. I mean, my employees have been number one because they're all customers. They're all people I've known for years, for the most part. And so I want to make sure that they're taken care of. That's the reason I'm staying on.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really do respect that a lot, that you're taking care of your people like that. As far as, I think you said you have an event that's going on this Saturday. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this Saturday is May the 2nd, and if things haven't happened, if the weird thing that's happening right now had not happened, it would have been Free Comic Book Day, which is the biggest day of the year in our industry and at my stores. This is the day where we give away thousands of free comics to anybody who walks in the store. We have creators signing at the store. We have the biggest sale of the year on that day. So obviously we cannot do that. So a couple of other stores and myself are in on a couple of the stores. One is in Chicago, one is in Australia, and I'm here in LA. We're kind of in on this thing called the Stay Away Comic Day. So it's like the stay-at-home version of Free Comic Book Day.
Right.
So we're doing a bunch of sales on our website, which is comicsandcards.net, and in the store if you call in on Saturday. And we're going to have 3 lines open, so there's going to be 3 people selling product and giving you shopping tours and everything. And everybody who buys stuff that day will get free comics. We're giving away last year's free comics, a bunch of Marvel and DC #1s that we have too many of. Just whatever we can scrounge, we'll get it put together, and so everybody gets 3, 4, 5 free comics, whatever we can, put together. And then we can ship the product to you, or you can pick up at the pizza place, just like with everything else. And then and if you pick up at the pizza place, you get a free poster. So we're giving away, we have a bunch of Marvel posters that we accumulated over the years. So we're giving away a free random poster to anybody who picks up their purchase of that from that day at the pizza place.
Demore. I think it's Demore's, right?
It's Demore's, yeah. It's like, honestly, I've been eating it for 25 years, which contributed to this.
Yeah.
But a lot. But honestly, I can say it's probably one of the best, if not the best, pizza places in Los Angeles. I'm very happy that we've been together I've been there for 26 years and they've been there for 28 years. So it's one of the oldest, one of the original pizza shops, like New York, Boston style pizza shops. They do both. They do like a deep dish and they do a thin crust New York pizza, and they bring water in from Italy. It's like, I didn't believe it when they told me, and then I saw a truck pull up and it's water from Italy in boxes in big giant jugs. They actually bring it in from Italy. They have a bunch of locations all over LA. They have one in Westwood. They have one on Melrose, but this is the original branch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and by the way,
yes.
Yeah, you get a 20% coupon when you pick up your order of books from us. So if you go there and pick up your order, you also get 20% off pizza by just saying Collector's Paradise. Which they're not cheap. They're not like Pizza Hut cheap prices. So the pies are a little bit more expensive, but it's totally worth it. And with 20%, it's very comparable and becomes basically the best deal. It's basically the deal that I've been getting for years. For 25 years, I've been getting 20% off because we're neighbors. So basically, it's now extended for the period. This period is extended to my customers.
That's definitely an incentive to go. I'm actually going to participate in that for sure. Anything that I can do to support the comic book industry right now, I'm all about that. And I've had Demore's pizza, by the way. I've had the one I think in West Hollywood. It actually is. Yeah. And I'm aware of the water from Italy. It's really good stuff.
Oh, it's the truth. It's the truth because they bring it in a truck. A truck pulls up. A giant semi pulls up every week, and like they literally offload a bunch of boxes of water. Nobody believes it. They should be filming it and putting it on like Facebook because people don't believe when they say that. But I can tell you, I've seen hundreds of those trucks in my lifetime because I see them every week pull up and close up half the street and barrels of water are walking into the place. It's real. It's real.
And that's
the other thing.
Winnetka?
Yeah, that's next to the Winnetka store.
Okay.
It's really easy. It's the corner of Winnetka and Sherman Way. It's the 2 big streets in the valley. Pierce College is on Winnetka, and then Sherman Way is like the biggest street in the valley. So you can't miss it. We're pretty much right in the corner, across the street from Starbucks. Yeah. So if you see Starbucks, we're on the other side.
So for Saturday, for Saturday's event, you call in, and then you could. Does it get mailed out when you call it in, or can you pick it up, or?
Yeah. So you have 2 choices, and we'll ask you what you want to do. We can mail it to you, and if it's over $40, we'll give you free shipping.
Okay.
And then if you're local, you want to stop by and you want to get a free poster, then you can just tell them that you want to pick it up at the pizza place, and just stop by, have some pizza, and get the free poster and pick up your books, and you have them instantly without having to wait 3-4 days for it to get in the mail. So yeah, I want to make sure before we forget something that I want to give you a short exclusive on.
Okay.
That you'll be finding out first before the media releases it, probably tomorrow. Mark Waid is a really good friend of Collector's Paradise. You've met him at Collector's Paradise. He was there for our grand opening, right?
Yeah.
He's a dear friend. We've done signings from, God, he was one of our first guests for Free Comic Book Day, God knows how many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me up and he said, how can I help? I want to contribute financially and make it easier for your customers. And so what we ended up doing is the first 50 people that call up on on Saturday, the first $10 of your order is paid for by Mark Waid. He's paying $10 per person for the first 50 people. Already done. So if you order $20, you're only paying 10. So if you buy stuff on a half off sale, you order $100, you're paying 40 instead of 50, because Mark is paying the first 10.
That's awesome. I did meet him, and he's a really cool guy. He signed my Kingdom Come copy, so that was really nice. That was a good time. As far as a little bit about you, because I talk about you a lot to a lot of my friends that are comic book junkies, and I tell them you're a juggernaut of knowledge of comic books. Like you crank it up every time. And as far as like comic books, like right now, what is your favorite title that you're reading right now?
Right now, it's not always the newest stuff coming out, though. I mean, I read most comics still. I'm a big fan of writers, so I follow writers. To me, a lot of times the subject matter is less important than the writer.
Right.
So guys like Greg Rucka, Ed Brubaker, I will read anything they do. Jonathan Hickman is my favorite comic book writer in the world. I've been a fan of his since the first comic came out, Nightly News #1. We sold that comic book, and it was the moment of clarity of like, this guy is a genius. You should follow his career. Has become a good personal friend over the years. He's done a lot of things with us. I don't know if you remember this year, we did the House of X Powers of 10 hardcover that had an autograph plate. That was something arranged because, we're friends and he was able to do that. So that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, it's a writer more than the comic book itself. I mean, I could probably name some comics that I really, really like. But again, X-Men by Jonathan Hickman. New Mutants, the first 8 issues of New Mutants that came out by Jonathan Hickman, I thought were brilliant. Anything Ed Brubaker writes. The new book coming out called Pulp looks fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Ed Brubaker. And sometimes it's also, I'm a fan of the people. Like Jonathan, Ed, a lot of these guys are just super nice people. And it's easy to be a fan of them, They're amazing writers, but it's easy to be a fan of. Anything from the old days by Warren Ellis or Grant Morrison, I'm a huge fan. Maybe not necessarily stuff lately, but the older stuff, I love it. That's what I reread. I love Valiant Comics. I love my favorite. If you look around, if you look behind me, it's all art on the wall, and it's all the same character. X-Men Manowar. I collect X-Men Manowar original art. So I also collect X-Men Manowar anything. So you'll see.
Yeah. This is exclusive right here, everybody.
There's a lot of art here on the walls, but there's also like bottles, penguins, toys, beer. I collect a lot of hardcovers, so I own probably more hardcovers than anybody else who collects hardcovers, just because I have a lot of access to them.
Yeah.
So I collect interesting stuff, I like Robert Kirkman. I'm a big fan of Robert as a person, and a big fan of Robert's work. Mark Waid. I have most of Mark Waid stuff here, just because Mark is the guy that I follow because I love Mark's work, and I like Mark a lot as a person. It's important sometimes. There's guys that I might like, but I'm not a fan of them, and I won't keep their work. it is personal. This is, I'm not just a collector. I'm in here for life in this business, which means I have to. There has to be a person. Make sense?
Yeah, I think you got a little cut off there, like the last sentence that you said. But
Yeah, somebody called me or something.
oh, okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's much better. As far as because you said that you've been in this business for a very long time. When was the moment that you knew that that was what you wanted to do, like in this business?
Look, honestly, it kind of happened. It kind of happened. I was teaching high school. I was working at Fairfax High School, right across from Golden Apple, and Death of Superman came out, and I never read comics before. So you're talking about 1991.
Okay.
And I went, oh, what is this Death of Superman thing that everybody's talking about? And I went and checked it out, and I never looked back. And I started reading comics, and then I started speculating on comics. I started buying up comics from comic shops, and then 2 weeks later selling it back to them because that was the 90s,
Yeah.
and that was happening. And I made a little bit of extra money that way. And then one day I walked into a store, one of the stores that I used to sell to, and the guy goes, I don't want to do it anymore. And I said, well, I kind of do. And that's how it happened. 1984, we paid him a little bit of money, and it became the first store. And that's how I went into retail. That morning, I didn't know I was going to be a comic book retailer, That afternoon, I became a comic book retailer. I'm a big believer in like fate. Fate makes things happen. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to our other stores. I mean, the Pasadena store 10 years ago, a friend of mine who owned that store just called me one day and said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Do you want to take over? And I said, sure. And same thing with NoHo store. I mean, you know the story there.
Yep.
Judd got a job in San Diego and couldn't do it anymore. So he decided to close down the store. And after he closed down, he called me and said, hey, do you want to take over the spot? I said, sure. The day before, I didn't know it was going to happen. It's all fate. I don't sit there and try to like make things happen. I believe like the best way to make life is to just do what you do. And life, it will come to you if it's meant to be,
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's been everything in life has been like that.
That's really good advice, actually.
Yeah. If things happen natural, it's a lot better than if you force it.
Mm-hmm. As far as your favorite superhero movie, do you have a favorite superhero movie that?
Maybe Wolverine.
Okay.
I mean, unless you go to like cartoons, and then obviously Into the Spider-Web. Into the Spider-Web is like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
That's the best thing that's ever been made with comic book characters, in my opinion. But Wolverine was really good. I thought that was really good. Yeah.
The one with James Mangold, right? That one, the Wolverine.
The last one where he dies.
Oh, okay, Logan. So Logan. Yeah.
Logan. That's the one. Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm not very good with names. Yeah, but yeah, I thought Logan was spectacular.
Yeah, actually, that was a very good movie. It was very well done. What's a character or a writer that you would like to see be done? Is there like a storyline that you think to yourself, man, I would really love to see that person write this character? Is there anything like that for you?
Well, what's funny, for years it's always been Jonathan Hickman doing X-Men. Mm-hmm. Like when he came out to LA, when Fantastic Four #1 came out, the one that he was doing, and we did a signing with Jonathan, and we were talking about stuff, and I asked him, hey, you want to do a sketch for the store? And he said, sure. What do you want me to sketch for you? And I said, well, do whatever is your favorite thing in the world is. And so he did a sketch of Cyclops, because he was a lifetime X-Men fan that never got the opportunity to do the X-Men because at the time Marvel didn't really want to put a lot of focus on the X-Men because of all the licensing problems they had. Right. And so he drew a Cyclops sketch, which is pretty rare. Jonathan does not do sketches. And there's like, if you look around, there's no Jonathan Hickman original art for sale. And in our gallery, we have a piece hanging of Cyclops by Jonathan Hickman. And it's his favorite character. And so when he finally got signed up to do X-Men, that was exactly what you're asking for. With what character would you love to see do which writer would you like to do which characters? It was for me for many years. It was Jonathan Hickman doing X-Men. So that kind of happened already. I mean, I have personal things like X-Men Manowar. I would love to see like a Grant Morrison X-Men Manowar. You know, something like a high sci-fi concept, or even better than Grant Morrison, maybe like a Warren Ellis do X-Men Manowar. But you know, like to me, it's a character, you know, barbarian barbarian from the past in our time. It was access to the greatest armor of all time, kind of like Iron Man armor but alive. I love that concept, and to have like a sci-fi take on it would be great.
Yeah, that does sound pretty interesting. As far
Warren
as
Ellis is my favorite sci-fi writer, so
is your favorite sci-fi writer?
yeah.
Oh, very nice. As far as your favorite superhero, would you say it's X-Men or would you say it's Superman since that kind of got you into it? Or
Well, it's X-Men Manowar.
okay,
I don't know if he's a superhero, but that's my favorite character in comics. I have T-shirts. I have hair. I have a freaking pillow. I'm committed. It's
I can
my
see
favorite
that.
character. Yeah.
So has there ever been there hasn't been a live action movie, right, of that? Not yet.
No. There was a actually Bat. Have you heard of Bat in the Sun?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have a
So
friend
Bat
who
in the Sun
works with
did
them,
a movie called Ninja versus the Valiant Universe,
yeah. Okay.
which was a live action, and X-Men was in it, and it was actually quite amazing. Like if you ever you can find it online on YouTube now. They finally released it available for free, and it's like an amazing movie. Those guys are friends of ours. They film all the episodes for Superpower Beatdown and all the conversation stuff. They film in our Valley store. So and Aaron's been a customer since he was a kid. So yeah, we were kind of part of it, and it's a really cool movie. And EXO was in it. I met the actor. And it was really cool. I went to the premiere. It was a great experience.
That's awesome.
This was before Bloodshot, before Sony movies and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna definitely. I have a friend of mine who's worked with Bat in the Sun. He's done a lot of the X-Men stuff for them. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
As far as this is like I guess this is like the last question that I have. But as far as the comic book industry as a whole, because I know there's a lot of concern about it.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? Is there anything you think that the comic book industry could do as a whole to kind of avoid it? Because I mean, the way that I look at it, I mean, just from hearing you, and I've been following you for a good minute, and I think one of the reasons why you do so well is because I think you're a good businessman. I think you know how to you hustle, you push, and obviously it's rooted from passion. And I think there are a lot of other comic book businesses out there that don't have the same drive that you do, and maybe that's why they kind of like fizzle out. But
that's the thing. Like if you look at convenience stores, they're all pretty similar to each other, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at comic book stores, the industry is very fragmented. There's a lot of older guys who do comics the old way. They're not up with the new culture of comics,
Right.
The graphic novels, the indie, the online sales, the merchandise, having the pops, having everything. There's a lot of guys who let their personal taste affect their business, right? So the industry is very fragmented, and for every guy like me who's maybe, I don't want to say younger because I'm close to 50, but hasn't been in this industry for 40 years. You know what I mean? For guys like me, guys like Card at Earth 2 stores, Ryan at Golden Apple, who are more modern, more involved, and more know about what's going on, and go to the trade meetings and spend the time to be part of the industry. For every one of us, there's a bunch of other comic book owners who just come there, sit at the register, don't have employees, think that the only way they can make money is if they do everything themselves, and sit there and never grow because of it. And so it's a difficult industry, and these times make it really harder because now you can't do that. right? You're going to close down, but the bills are going to still pile up, and you need a way to do something. And so there's going to be some attrition. There's going to be some stores that will go out of business in LA and everywhere else. And we're kind of in a precarious spot because the whole industry is about between 2,000 and 3,000 stores, like nationwide. So you take 10% of that, and you can lose the whole industry. Because if comic book sales go below certain points, the industry will collapse,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of sad. And we have this break that happened where customers who were used to the weekly pattern of comics and coming in every week and buying comics have now spent 2 months not doing it. So there's a chance some of them won't come back. A lot of them have been laid off for some time. They might not have the money to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very kind of dangerous spot that we're in right now. Probably this may be the most deciding time in our industry's life, because it's going to be really difficult to bring everybody back, and every publisher and every comic book store and every owner and every employee is going to suffer, because we're going to need to weather the storm. You think this is bad, it's going to be worse when we have to start operating and have bills and everything piles up and you have to continue to do business, right? But our customers don't have the money necessarily. So my hope is that the customers come back to us hungry for new content, because they haven't seen it for 2 months.
Yep.
And we hope that they're, first of all, able to. I mean, there's only so much they can do if they don't have a job, right? But the hope is that people who do have the money are hungry enough to help support this industry for a while we relaunch,
Yeah.
And that's we've been trying to do over this last couple of months, is to reach out to new customers, to get new people who are not into this, and try to make awareness of what's happening and everything and how dire it is. I mean, there's a lot of industries that are suffering, but I think the comic book industry is, and that's why there's been so much publicity about it. The comic book industry is literally on the precipice of being out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing that I can do in my store. I can have the best policies and my store can continue to do well. And I can still go down with the ship, because it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the whole industry.
Right.
I cannot affect what the other stores do.
Right.
Because we're all independent bookstores, there's no corporate presence, There's no Amazon to come in and help everybody. Everybody has to help themselves.
Right.
And I don't know if a lot of people in this business know how to help themselves.
I can totally see that. That's why
I mean, it's not all gloom. I mean, there's ways to help it. I mean, there's a movement growing online to get Marvel and DC to do a big crossover event, so that when the industry relaunches, there's a big event, like let's say in June, a big giant event between Marvel and DC, right? To get people into the stores. Because in the 90s, when Marvel versus DC, I don't know if you remember DC versus Marvel, the series, went like crazy. It brought a lot of people back. So there's a little bit of effort happening right now to get publishers to start working together to bring people back into the stores, because if they don't, they're not going to have customers. We're their customers, and they're not going to have any left if they don't do something drastic. So hopefully it reaches them,
Yeah. As far as let's say if everything gets back to normal in July or August, do you, because I know right now you only have the Winnetka store, do you plan to open back up NoHo? And okay.
I mean, I have to comply with the rules, right? So I mean, we will skirt the rule, right? Like obviously, with the pizza place pickup, we're not doing anything against the rule. People, we're technically telling people to come get pizza and pick up their comics at the same time. So, I mean, that's kind of skirting, but I don't want to break rules. I don't want to put my employees in danger. I don't want to make it hard for I don't want to entice customers to come to my store, right? I don't want to do any of that. So everything depends on what City of LA County, and California as a state does. So I'm just basically creating policies with whatever rules are in front of me. So if curbside pickup becomes available, we will then open all 3 stores and make it available, right? But because without curbside pickup, why do I need to have the stores open?
Right.
If the books have to be mailed, they can be mailed from one spot, right? And actually, the one store we have is equipped to mail books because we have a mailing room in the back. In the back of the store, we have a giant mailing room where we mail all our mail order customers, all our eBay sales, all our Amazon sales, and all our website sales. We mail from that place. So that's where everything is. So we actually went to the other stores, took some inventory, the most popular stuff, right? Took all the customer subscription boxes from both stores and brought them to the main store. So the main store looks like a warehouse right now because there's so much product in it. So eventually we're going to have to do inventory and bring stuff back to stores and make them look good. You know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work we're doing behind the scenes. We also remodeling our Pasadena store at the same time. That store has been neglected a little bit, and our manager left recently, right before it happened, actually, literally left at the end of March. So when she left, I took over the store. And so I'm remodeling that store now. We go there on the days that we're not open, and we're remodeling the store. So when we reopen, that's going to be a brand new looking store. Nobody knows. The customers don't even know about it. So when they come in, they're going to be like, oh, holy crap, this is a different store.
It's another exclusive.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, but no, honestly, like, you want to make it when the customers come in, you want to make it interesting. If they come into the same place they saw before the pandemic, it's not really that exciting, you know. But if they come in and the store looks fresh, that's what we're trying to do, you know.
Yeah, Edward, man, I really do respect everything that you're doing, man, and I really do appreciate you and your stores, and I love walking in and just being there, man. It's really great, man. But I think we're running up on time because then it's gonna cut off. But I just wanted to say thank you very much, Mr. Edward, for your time. I'm gonna be there on Saturday, and if anybody else is watching that, if you want to get plugged in, I'm going to put the information in the description box, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Cool.